Welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Alicia Creates, and I am Alicia. I feel like that's really obvious, but also if I say obvious, I kind of feel like an a-hole. Anyway, this is another Q&A, and again, the background and the sweater gives it away that I'm filming these back to back to back to back. So hopefully, again, like I said before, that this is not in previous videos. It might be, I don't know. Again, I'm sorry for Boxpocalypse. It does go to my ceiling. You should really see what it looks like over here. It's a lot. It's a lot. And the unfortunate thing is, even when I unpack the boxes, I can only get rid of like half of them. Because as we unpack things, we're also kind of getting rid of things because we realize we have just stuff we haven't either touched in a long time, don't need, don't want. So as we unpack, we're doing like boxes of like trash boxes and like donate boxes. And then we're gonna have people come and like haul it away to like, we're gonna take the boxes to donate, but then like we're gonna have people come and like haul away the trash, junk people, whatever they're called. I think they're literally called the junk people where we live. It sounds mean when I first said it. I just wanted to clarify they're literally called the junk people. That's not like a mean. That's what their name is. Their company. But yeah. So yeah, that box that looks curious, that is empty. It actually has. It's a large box, and then there's a medium box, and then a small box inside of it that I'm saving to use to put stuff in as I unpack other boxes and find stuff I no longer need or want or whatever. So, yeah. Just boxes. So many boxes. My hands are so dry, my nails are falling apart. Just boxes. But yeah, anyway, on to the next set of questions in the Q&A. I say next. You guys haven't seen the other Q&A in days, so, but for me, it's been a few minutes. Anyway, the first question is, how many books is too many books in a series? And I don't know if this is gonna be a controversial take, but I don't think there is a limit, as long as it doesn't feel like, because I know like shows, like, well, no, I'm not gonna name a show because I don't want to be controversial, but if a show feels like it was supposed to have like 3 seasons, and then it has like 8 or 10 or more, I feel like people know what I'm talking about. Not a specific show, but you know the feeling where it's like, to quote Bilbo, not enough butter spread over too much bread. Where it was like, it was meant to be this, thing, and they just, it was, there wasn't enough story there, or they just filled in a bunch of BS that doesn't belong. As long as it is fine, like the Sookie Stackhouse series, I've been listening to that, and uh when I finished it, I was like, oh, I wish there was more. And then I kind of found out, like, I guess some people did, like, worked with the author or something. I didn't really look into it, but I found out there was more. And I was like, oh, cool, because I didn't want it to end. And I was just going to re-listen to it after I read some other stuff. Because I listened to it while I, like, clean and stuff. And it's just kind of a nice, simple, chill thing. And I also just like the voice of the lady that reads it. And I found out there was more. I was like, okay, cool. But there was story there. It didn't feel like it ended and they just stretched it out for fan service. It felt right. So as long as it feels right and there's story there, or if there's a very interesting character and they're able to do a spin-off and people want it and they're able to do something with it and it creates more books and whatever, then that's fine. But like I said, if it's meant to be this big and you stretch, no, then that's too many books in the series. But if it works, then it works. And that's my take. And I feel like that's not controversial, but I'm sure. Um, do you? How do you feel about cliffhangers? It depends. It depends, because I feel like some cliffhangers are forced, and then I feel like some just happen naturally. Because I know, like, sometimes I'll be writing, and I'll, like how I said previously that I'm writing my book from beginning to end, and then I'm gonna break it up. I've found that I just naturally end up having good, like, around a good word count for a chapter is like not a severe cliffhanger, but like a good little bit to make the reader be like, oh, I want to read the next chapter. I don't want to stop here and keep reading. And then the same for, like, the book ending where, like, it's nothing super dramatic where they're like, "Oh, I hate that they left it here, but now I wanna read the next book." Like, it's not too much, but it's enough to, you know, pull you in. So as long as it doesn't it's reasonable and it's not too much. I don't know how to explain this, where you it's I hate the ones where I don't know how to explain this, where it feels forced. It feels too dramatic. Like it's like, did they die? Did they not? Did this happen? Like I don't know if I'm doing a good job explaining what I'm trying to say, but I'm just gonna leave it at as long as it's not too forced and it works, then that's fine. Moving on. Hardcover or paperback? I used to be a hardcover person because I didn't want to mess them up, but then I discovered I'd never had the issue of messing up books. So as long as the series I have are all the same, like if I have a set of books that are in a series and they're all paperback, or I get one paperback and then I get the next ones all in paperback, I'm fine. Or if I have one in hardback, I want to get all of them in hardback, but I'm not particular to all of my books being one or the other, as long as that series is the same, if that makes sense. Um, Favorite book? It depends on my mood, honestly, what I say, so I'm not gonna answer that because there's so many good books. I feel like people say that, like, the lame classics, and I just so I'm gonna move on. I'm not saying lame, to be rude or insult anyone's book taste. It's just it's like when people ask people's favorite music, and I don't know. I'm digging myself into a hole, and I'm just gonna move on. Least favorite book. See previous answer. I'm gonna move on. Um, Love triangles, yes or no? I'm indifferent as long as they're not dramatic, because I know, like I said in the previous video, I like the Vampire Diaries books. I didn't like, when I first heard they were making the show, I got excited, because I loved the books when they first came out. I was a book person. Not to be one of those people who's like, oh, I liked the books. Like, I liked the books. I read them when they first came out. I really enjoyed them. I read them multiple times. And then I heard about the show before I saw the commercial, and I was excited. And I saw the commercial and I was like, and I didn't watch it until 2018, 2019, I believe. I know. And I had to force myself to watch the first season. And I watched it, like the first few episodes, stopped for a year or like 6 months or a year. I watched the first few episodes multiple times and stopped before. And then I had to force myself through the whole first season. And then I was like, you know what? I like it. I had to, in my mind, tell myself this is not based on the books. This is just a show with the same name and a couple of the same people names as well, like character names. Like I had to move past it, and now I enjoy it. Now I actually do enjoy the show. So, in a situation like that, I didn't watch it for the love triangle, is what I'm trying to get at. Sorry, I just babbled again for no reason. But I didn't watch that for the love triangle. Or read the book for the love triangle. I just enjoyed it. I don't know, the storyline. I know the love triangle is part of the storyline, but just other aspects of it I enjoyed. I'm not doing a good job explaining myself, which I feel like is gonna have a lot of people be like, "Can you write?" I can. It's when I need to public speaking, and just I'm hoping the more I do this, maybe I'll get better. I don't know. Mm. Um, so love triangles, yay or nay? I'm indifferent as long as it's not the main plot line and it's not super forced and it's not a big ordeal. I'm not if somebody tells me, "Oh, I love this book, it has a love triangle," that's not gonna make me pick it up. But if somebody tells me about a book, tells me the plot of the book and tells me about it, and then they go, "Oh, and it has a love triangle," and then the other stuff they told me before the "and" it has a love triangle sounds interesting to me, then I'll probably read it. If that makes sense. Moving on. Most recent book you just couldn't finish. I don't I usually do a lot of research into a book. Like I usually read, the basic, I usually read the back. I usually look up reviews, and this is gonna sound weird. I look at the bad reviews because I feel like people look at bad reviews as just that bad. But sometimes something someone doesn't like about something, maybe something someone else wants. Like the whole let's use the love triangle thing as a thing. I'm not gonna read a book because it has a love triangle in it, but somebody else may really love that trope and want that and read a book thinking it has uh love triangle stuff in it, and their review could be something like, "Oh, I hate this book. I thought it was gonna have stronger uh love triangle ties. It was just like a subplot. I'm really mad about that." And I could read that and be like, "Oh, okay, so the love triangle is just a subplot. Good. That's good for me." I know that, may have gotten them a 1-star review, but now that's gained them another purchase because now I'm gonna buy the book, if that makes sense. So, I don't know where that came from, but I just babbled again. Sorry. So yeah. Oh yeah, I do research on a book, so I usually don't get books if I don't think I'm gonna like them. So I don't really have like a did not finish, did not read thing. I don't just see a book and be like, "Oh," and buy it. Um, a book you're currently reading? I am currently rereading I'm currently rereading, well, not reading like physically, I'm listening to it, the Sookie Stackhouse. The Sookie Stackhouse collection or series, but I'm reading it not just her original series, but like with all of the extra add-ins of the little stories in order, if that makes sense. There's like I'll maybe pop a little image right here of what I mean. I don't if I can find it or whatever. You can probably Google it and figure out what I mean by that. But also usually what I do, and this is a kind of a hard question to answer because it depends on what book I'm working on. So if I'm working on the apocalyptic book, which I'm about to, so I'm about to stop listening to what I'm listening to now and listen to apocalyptic-y type stuff, is I'll listen to books and also music that give the same vibes as the book I'm working on to get me in that headspace. So if I'm like saying that my apocalyptic book, if I'm working on like a battle, then if the book I'm listening to that's apocalyptic also has a battle and the battle scene I'm working on takes like a month to work on, then sometimes I'll listen to that scene or that chapter or those chapters for a month. Just I'm not like plagiarizing it, but it gets me in the, it gets me in the mood, it gets me in the mindset. I also will play like zombie or apocalyptic, it depends on, you know, games to get me in the mood. But no, so depending on what I'm working on, it will change what I'm listening to. I can't do a lot of reading because, like I said, I'm dyslexic, so it takes me a really long time, and all of my effort has to be put into that. And if I want to do this other stuff, then I gotta listen to books while I'm cleaning and doing stuff. So most of my book consumption is reading right now, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm about to switch back over to apocalyptic books probably in the next couple of days as of right now. Probably tomorrow or this afternoon, actually, because I'm about to start working on my book again. And then, let's see, next question. Ooh, here's a good controversial one. Buying or borrowing books? I feel like if you're gonna borrow books, I have a whole thing about borrowing books, or borrowing in general. So I don't like to lend my stuff out because it's never gone well. People either don't give them back or don't give them back in great condition or don't treat the stuff well. So I no longer lend things to people. And because of that, I won't borrow things because I don't expect things from other people that I wouldn't do as well, if that makes sense. So since I wouldn't lend my stuff, I will not borrow stuff. So in the category of borrowing, if I was interested in a book that I didn't think I'd want to own, then I might go to a library. Like library, fine. But that being said, if I borrow someone's book, I would take such immaculate care of it, which is what I would expect them to do. But unfortunately, people just don't do that. Not everybody, but in my experience, it's just never gone well. Like even my boyfriend has had that experience where he lent a movie to someone. He goes over there. He didn't get it back for a long time. He kept asking, like he was like waiting to get it back. He goes over to their house and the CD is out of the case, laying on the table, and they're using it as a coaster. A coaster. And he asked about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, if you want to borrow that movie, you can." Like, it was his movie! So, I don't lend things out, neither does he, because we've just had bad experiences. So, since I don't lend, I don't borrow. So I'm gonna buy my books if I want them, because also if I want them, like, I probably am going to keep rereading them because I'm just one of those weirdos that likes to reread and re-listen to things. So I don't think it's like a waste because I'm going to get multiple uses out of it. And then that, or I'm going to just like listen to it on like Audible or something where you can listen to books. And then a book you dislike that everyone seems to like. What are those books that what is that book called? Everyone calls it like ACOTAR. It's like, but I forget what that stands for. Those fairy books, the smut books. Nothing against smut. You do you. That's just not my thing, personally. So if you like smut and you want to eventually read my books, they're not gonna have that in it. I'm so sorry. No crazy spite. Maybe like the tiniest bit. Very micro, but probably not. And there's romance, but not like smutty romance. I don't know, that's just not my thing. But also I just, even that aside, because I know people say like that was nothing compared to smut books. Like, it really wasn't that bad. I didn't, the storyline, it wasn't, I, uh, uh, I stuck my tongue out as if I was grossed out or didn't care for it. I just, eh, wasn't my thing. Wasn't my thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I probably just had so many people click off my video or unsubscribe. I'm so sorry. You do you. You like what you like. I like what I like. If you like that, you probably don't like the stuff I like. And that's fine. We're allowed to like different things. And if you can hear that my cats are fighting outside my door. I'm so sorry. Well, they're playing, not fighting. Ugh. A book you can always read. I feel like that's any book I own. If I buy it, then like I said, I plan on reading it more than once, like over and over and over again. Bookmark or dog ears. If you dog ear your books, you're a monster. You're an animal. No, I was kidding. But again, you do you. If you own it, and again, this goes, if you own the book, you can do whatever you want. You want to tear a page out, you tear a page out. If you're borrowing that book, you better use a bookmark. If you dog ear a book you're borrowing or a book you get from the library, jail. Straight to jail. Go to jail. But if I get a book from the library and I assume, because I know people can donate books to the library and it's dog-eared, I'm gonna tell myself in my mind that somebody pre-owned that book and they donated it and not let myself think that somebody just got that from the library, dog-eared it, and put it back. Like, that's messed up. Don't do that. Can you read while listening to music? Absolutely not. I need complete silence. Like, if it's raining or storming, that's fine. But if, like, my boyfriend's listening to something, like watching TV or something, if it's too loud, sometimes I will have to be like, can you just tone that? Or something I'll do is I'll go in there, I'll make eye contact with them, and I'll go. And people who watch Friends know I'm but it's just, I'll ask them to turn it down. I'll ask them to turn it down just a little bit. Like, I can't loud, it gets me right out of it. It needs to be quiet. I don't know why I did this for quiet, but it needs to be quiet. One or multiple POVs? It depends. I have read books. I will say, I usually prefer one point of view. Just the one point of view is my preferred. If you give me a book where it has one point of view and then one well-written, multiple point of view, I will go with the one point of view. However, if you give me two books and they're both multiple point of view, here are my credentials. I've read a couple where I don't know how to explain it. Like, the point of views were, they didn't let you know when they were switching. So I'd be reading it and I would think I was still in, like, say, Samantha's point of view, and then all of a sudden I was in Sarah's point of view or Tim's point of view, and I'm like, wait, what, huh? Because like I said, I was thinking I was in this other person's, and I'd be reading, and all of a sudden they were talking to that person. I'm like, wait, so huh? But then I was reading this one apocalyptic book that was taking place in three different people's point of views, and their chapters, it would be like, let's just call them Dawn, Tim, and Ashley. Like, those aren't their names, but I'm just trying to think of names. So it'd be like chapter 1, Dawn. Chapter 2, Ashley. Chapter 3, I already forgot the other name I came up with, but it would let you know who it was at least. And not always, but for the most part, the author did a pretty good job at having them speak a little bit differently, so that did help. But yeah, no, I do prefer one point of view, but I don't mind multiple if it's done well. But yeah, I will probably look different in the next scene because I have to go to work now. I will record a little bit on my lunch break, and then the rest will have to be tomorrow if I don't finish on my lunch break, but I should finish on my lunch break because I only have a few more questions to go. But I will see you guys in a little bit. I'll be in the same sweater. My hair will probably be a mess because it'll be several hours because I have a long shift. I work from home, so that's why it'll be on my lunch. But yeah, I will see you guys in a little bit. I'm back. I'm currently on lunch, so I might look a little different, a little disheveled. And also it is now brighter outside than when I was filming earlier, so I hope it doesn't affect the lighting too much. Like I said, I have lights, they're not the best. Usually they're good enough, but I can't set them up quite right. Anyway. Also, I don't think I have my setup quite the same as I did earlier. I think I was a little less box. A little more here, whatever. You can see me, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Oh yes, the questions. I left off, let's see, I left off. Do you read in one sitting or many days? Many days. Because like I had said previously, probably a few times now, I'm dyslexic, so I don't read the fastest. And also when I do read, I don't like I don't know, I've had other people read out loud to me and they read like da 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 da. Da. I read almost like in my head how when someone's reading a story to someone or how like people read audiobooks. Like when you're listening to an audiobook, how that's read, or like when someone's reading a story to a child and they read it a little bit more dramatically, I guess. Like that's how I read in my head. So that slows me down. Plus I'm dyslexic, so like I read at a glacial pace. So yes, many days, very slowly. Um, how often do you read? I was going to say not as much as I would like or not often. However, I have recently I have recently seen something where someone said that audiobooks count as reading. So if that's the case, all the time. I'm always reading. I'm always reading. Always reading. Because I'm always listening to an audiobook. Do you prefer physical books or to read on a device? I prefer physical books. I don't actually own a device to read books on. I know you can read them on your phone. I either am reading a physical book or listening to an audiobook. Those are my two options. If I'm going to read a book, it's going to be a physical book. Because as much as I know they have the devices where you can read the book on a device and it's supposed to be similar to a page so it doesn't hurt your eyes, I still can't do it. I need the physical. I need the physical book. I need the paper. No, it's not great for the environment, not great for the cheese, but I need the physical book. So either physical book, audiobook. Only way I go. When did you learn to read? My mom has always read to me when I was a kid and like tried to help me with reading before like school, just kind of like how parents would usually. Like she would read to me before bed and then she would before she read to me, she'd have me like read a little bit to her in like my early years, but since I was dyslexic, so I would say like I learned to read at like a normal age, just slower and not as well. I guess that's really the best answer. How long does it take you to read? Again, C, dyslexic answer, but also, um, it depends. I usually can't sit down and read for very long because it kind of hurts my eyes. So I'll usually read anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. I want to read longer, but I cannot read longer than an hour. My eyes start to kill me and I'm a migraine sufferer. So if my eyes start to hurt, my head will start to hurt and that could go from being a small migraine to something that I'm suffering with for days, weeks, don't want to deal with that, so I try to snuff that out before it even starts. So hour is usually my limit. So if I'm reading for about 30 minutes, I can read usually like a chapter or two, maybe three if they're short. It depends on the book and the spacing and the font and all that. If I read for like an hour, anywhere from 2 to 4, maybe 5 chapters, depending on the length and the font and the spacing again. So, like I said, I'm not the fastest reader, but I get by. It's not a competition. But I'm enjoying myself, so it's fine. And then I don't know what happened. My handwriting is not the best. Uh, and all of my, like, I wrote these down physically, all of these questions, and everything was going well until this last question. And it's, do you like when books squibble, squibble movies? I can't figure out what those two scribbles are, so I'm going to assume it's, do you like when books are made movies? Like, are made into movies? I mean, usually it depends. There are some where, like, I like them, but I do hate that they left some things out. Because, like, not to, like, name any specific series, but there'll be some where I either dislike it entirely, prefer it, or I'm mixed. I'm like, okay, I wish they would have added this scene from the book, or sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm actually glad they did it this way instead. And then sometimes they'll add something instead of taking away or changing it, they'll add something extra. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I like that. So it depends. It depends. It depends. It's like going back to earlier or a previous video, I'm not sure at this point, when I was talking about the Vampire Diaries. I like the books, I like the show. Are they the same thing? Absolutely not. Would I love if they made a Vampire Diaries show that was actually based off the books? Yes. However, I don't think it would translate quite. I don't think it would look right. I don't know. I think that's why they changed it and took away a lot of the magic, but it would also be nice. So I see why they did what they did, but also I loathe it entirely. But I like them as separate entities. I have to pretend they're separate entities and I like them. Fine. But yeah, so those are all my questions. I believe those are all my questions. Like I said, if you have any questions, ask them down below. I believe tomorrow's video is just going to be a regular vlog style video because the Q&As were just kind of like to break up the mundane, everyday vloggy stuff. So look forward to that. You will probably see me in this sweater a lot. I really like it. It's also new. I just got it. I mean, by the time these videos start, it will not be new, but as of the making of the videos, I've had this sweater for like 2 days, so I'm really enjoying it. The lighting is coming across very warm, which is really unfortunate because my overhead light is like somewhere between warm and white. It's somewhere in the middle, and then my lamps are slightly whiter. Like they're not white and they're not that in between. They're somewhere in between neutral and white, but I have them refracting off the walls, which are like as you can see, like a beige. So I think that's why it's coming across so warm. But that's fine. I think warm is my color with the, although it does make my hair look a lot redder. I'm not mad about it. My hair's auburn, but the lightings make my hair look really red. At least in this, it might not. Anyway, I'm blabbering, I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, like I said, if you have any questions, ask them down below. I've probably been, I'm saying I'm blabbering, I've probably been talking your ears off about my book for days now at this point. And if you're here and you're enjoying it. I don't know. I'm blabbering again. I need to work on that. Or not. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point of this. I will see you guys later. Thank you for sticking around. Oh, I just kicked you. I'm so sorry. Bye.